I want to begin to talk about this book, Charles Taylor and Ethics of Authenticity. I'm not going to finish it, of course, right now, but I want to take this time to begin. I'd like to start beginning to think about this. Charles Taylor, these themes should sound very familiar. In many ways, we've been building towards this, and this is in many ways something that we've already talked about. Charles Taylor says there are three things that are called the malaises that are attacking the modern world. And we seem to be living in a world that's lost its meaning, or the individual is powerless against the larger world. We live in a world where we feel there's no meaning, no telos of any sort, there's no freedom, we're trapped. And the three things that he's really going at are individualism, technology, and bureaucratic management. And all these three things combine to make it feel like you're just lost in the world. The image I have in mind is imagine like a little cork, like a wine cork, floating in a vast ocean. And the wine cork has no autonomy. It can't go anywhere. It's just being buffeted around by forces beyond its total control. And again, I think this is a so thus far, this intro chapter is a summary of what we've already talked about before. By individualism, we mean that person that's been cut off from the past, from tradition, from their parents, from family, from the world that sort of brought us to where we are, and no sense of where you're headed. There's no greater good. As opposed to the person in the pre-modern village who said, my meaning derives from my part of the team. And I don't even choose this team, but I was born into this team. I can't imagine having the freedom to choose one team or the other. That's beyond my scope. We spoke earlier about the idea of being part of a religion before the Reformation. You can't fathom the idea of choosing not to be Catholic as part of your family, as part of your world. And so there's an apparent belief that individualism gives freedom, and yet we've discovered not really, though, if you're individual, to be this totally cut off autonomous self cuts you off from a world of meaning, and maybe any meaning you have is kind of you derive for yourself ex nihilo by yourself, and that's got to be at best a shallow kind of freedom, a shallow identity that's not rooted in anything particular. I mean, you live in a world invented by yourself. You worship a god invented by you. How great could that be? Kind of shallow. There's technology. We are, again, think about McDonaldization. We are overwhelmed by technology. And again, I'll go beyond what Taylor's talking about, but we're trapped by our smartphones. You think about even the friendships you have. Like if your friendship is through calling up a friend or driving to someone's house, Zooming, emailing, to think about to what extent technology is, our relationships, our very humanity is deeply contingent on having the right kind of technology. And that technology costs money. And if you don't have it, you're cut off. Don't have a car, you'll be lonely. Technology also is severely suffocating your humanity. Again, you've probably heard us talk about it all the time, but social media, it's something dehumanizing about this. Factory work is dehumanizing. We've talked about this already with McDonaldization. There's something deeply human about running a farm or making shoes or a tailor making clothing. And yet that's been turned into factory work on the other side of the world in Southeast Asia, where you're making clothing, but actually the machines are making clothing and you're just the functionary of the machine. There's something dehumanizing about whether the machine's helping you or you're helping the machine. Bureaucracy. There is a story there's an image that haunts me. It's from The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. This is during the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, and there's a man sitting on top of his roof with a gun, and there's another younger man in a bulldozer whose job it is to bulldoze the guy's house. And it's comic and tragic. The man on top of the house says something like, if you try to bulldoze my house, I will defend my house with my gun. My father defended this house from bandits, and his father defended this house from Native American Indians, and I'm going to defend the house from you. I will kill or shoot anyone who tries to destroy my house. And the man says, look, it doesn't matter whether you kill me or not. I mean, if you kill me, you'll get thrown in jail for murder, and that's bad. Well, then I'll kill the police. He goes, well, look, your house belongs to the bank now. You owe the bank money. They're repossessing your house, right? And if you kill me, they'll just send another guy on a bulldozer. If we kill that guy, they'll send another guy on a bulldozer. He says, fine, I'll walk down to the bank and shoot the guy who wants to take my house. And he says, you can't. That guy just works for a regional bank. I mean, he has a boss in Chicago. Well, I'll go down to Chicago and kill that guy. Well, you can't because that bank is owned by New York, and all the shareholders are across the globe. And the guy's like, "Who do I kill? Who do I kill to defend my house?" And the guy's like, it's bureaucracy. What does it mean? Have you ever later on in your life? Hopefully, this is not the case, but I remember this one time I had to go to the DMV to get my license renewed, and I went there. I had everything prepaid, and I had everything printed out, and I had to wait in line and go to this line, the other line, fill out various forms. The guy said, "No, you can't get your license. You have to pay for it." I said, "Well, I already paid for it. Here's this thing only." He goes, "Well, my internet my thing here says you haven't paid for it." I said, "Fine. I was going to call it $5." I'm like, "Oh, that's not a big deal. I'll pay for it twice." Go in my wallet, pull out $5, and they say, "No, we don't pay cash." I'm like, "You don't take cash? What do you take?" And they said something like, "We only take personal checks or money order." But how about credit card? "No, we don't take credit card." I was like, "Who carries personal checks anymore?" So it's fine, money order. Well, to get a $5 money order, it'll cost $5. I'm like, so that's annoying. And I went to Giant, and they were closed. They wouldn't open for another hour. So I went home. I got a personal check. I came back an hour there, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, hour round trip. And it sounds stupid, But then I went there. They said, "Oh yeah, by the way." I didn't say a word. Then they said, "Oh yeah." Then the next person, there was another person there, and they said, "Oh, go through," and they didn't actually collect any money from me, and it worked out. But I wasted several hours of my life, and it's like, who do I yell at? Who do I mad to? It does matter. There's a big machine. Bureaucracy seems to be dehumanized. If it's one on one, we can negotiate things. We might even fight each other, but at least there's someone to be mad at. Bureaucracy is this massive thing out there, right? So these three things: individualism to be individuality, individualism to be cut off from the wider world of meaning, the whole village, which we talk about extensively. Technology that seems to reduce us to be dependent on machines, and then even like serving machines, and we've lost our humanity. And bureaucracy, this massive organized world out there in which you feel like you're lost, and there's not even anyone to be mad at. You're part of a larger machine, and you're just one little functionary within a large organizational machine. As in a factory, you're working for the machine. And so Charles Taylor says, look, there are two groups of people: the boosters and the boosters and the knockers. The boosters are the people who say, rave raw modernity. We need more modernity, more organization, more management, more technology, more internet, more social media. And the knockers are the ones who want to say, no, we're having none of this. We want to get them, we want to go old school. We want to live in the woods. We want to cut ourselves off from all media, all modernity, and just the word would be Luddite. Where there are people who are like, no, what do you call the preppers? I've seen videos of these guys on the internet who just want to own their farm, and just have no part of the government anymore. And Charles Taylor wants to argue, no, there's something, both options are bad. He wants a third option, and that's what his book's about, Ethics of Authenticity. There's a way to be authentic. And what he wants to get at is not, and the solution's not even somewhere in the middle where he split the difference. No, he says there's a third option that's neither A nor B, and this C is something else. And so that's what the book's about. In many ways, this is, our reading so far has been prepping us towards this, as you might imagine. And so I'd like to see what Charles Taylor has to say is a solution to the things that could make us want to despair. All right?